sometimes the kids don't even want to be in the sport. They're in it because their mom and dad put them in it.
Yeah.
So when I see and when I hear about this opportunity and being in martial arts and then coming to work together and do the work together, I start to see the opportunity of the family knitting closer together, as opposed to it being one living vicariously through the other, watching, having to pick them up, take them home, and it's hours and hours and hours, and it's days and days and days, and sometimes traveling. And this is something that's healthy for the family. It really is creating a new level of health, both mentally, physically, health-wise. And so that's the benefit that I see.
Definitely. It's we really I guess I don't know, relentless when it comes to that. When I get kids starting and parents are there anyway, right? I'm not pushy in that I don't say, hey, you got to get out here, got to get out here, but I'm subtle in how I do things, and that's why I like to do the take mom to taekwondo day, take dad to taekwondo day, just getting them exposed to what it is we actually do on the mats, right? Because when they're sitting there watching, they're visually seeing it, but they're not experiencing what the kids are experiencing. And when they get out on the mats and we get them involved in it, they start to realize that it's enjoyable, it's fun, it's physical, and the life skills we're teaching become applied versus then just hearing it, right? When we start talking to them about it. So like we like to use when we use the life skills, we build it into our teaching. So discipline, for example, like if we get the kids standing in a set where we say standing nice and tall, right? We say, oh man, that's so awesome. You snapped in the set. That shows great discipline. And the kid goes, oh yeah. So standing like this, I'm being disciplined, right? But we say the same thing to the parents too when they're out there. We do the same thing. We say, hey, you're standing there you're showing all of our younger kids what great discipline is all about, right? Do you think the parents enjoy that? Heck yeah. They love to hear that stuff too, right? And when the kids see that the parents are doing it too, they connect it. Like, mom and dad are doing the things that Mr. Yarwood is teaching me too. So they're learning right along with me so that they get super excited about being out there and having mom and dad out there. And then they take that home. And sometimes the kids are like, hey, mom and dad, we gotta practice discipline at home too. How can we do that? Right? So they enjoy it. They get excited about it. It's not something that's a bad thing. It's a good thing, right? And then the parents can apply it because they've experienced it with them. So it's a great way for them to be able to enforce all the stuff that they're trying to teach their kids by physically doing it themselves. And they become part of our bigger community as well. So the parents meet each other, right? They hang out with each other. They train with each other. They experience what it's like to be an adult learning martial arts together. So it's just, there's so many things that are valuable to it for them to just come out on the mats and train with us.
I think it's a ton of fun.
Yep.
It really is. It really, it makes a huge difference.
It's very powerful.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the whole thing. I think it's just, there's such a powerhouse of opportunity with it.
Yep.
That I'm excited about.
I agree. I mean, and if we go down our list here, we start with families, right? F is foster belonging. So they make every family feels like they're not only together as a family, but they're also together as a bigger family as part of our community, right? They're part of something bigger than themselves. when you're sitting there watching, I come and talk to the parents, I engage with them and whatnot, but I think they're missing a piece that really connects them to our school, right? And when they become part of the school in terms of going out there and training and learning all this stuff, they get that other side of it that really kind of puts it all together for them. They say, "Oh, now I get it," right? It's one thing to sit and watch and observe and listen, but it's a whole nother thing to be part of it. And when they add that piece to it, it's essential to them. They feel like they're part of something bigger, and that's what we're trying to do.
Accountability being shared, A for accountability and family, you know, as you said, holding each other, to be able to hold your parents to the same standard, right? To be able to see your parents dealing with the difficulties, because we're not all perfect and we all make mistakes. And to be able to see that real time for kids really gives them a strong place. And I think sometimes we don't realize how important it is for our kids to see us fail on what we do when we fail and how we handle it.
Yep.
To get upset, how do we handle it? Because there are some people out there that don't handle it well. There are some people that do nasty things. They take their aggression out on their family, right? So to be able to see how to manage that, how to control that, how to create and model behavior, right? The M is absolutely miraculous, I think.
Setting an example for your kids is huge. And not just, like you said, you're not always going to be able to do everything, especially as an adult who's, hasn't done some physical activity in a while. And they get out there and they feel, at first, they feel nervous. They feel, I don't know, embarrassed. But they still do it. And their parent or their kids see them out there and they're struggling too, just like I am, right? Mom and dad are are real people. You know what I mean? And it inspires the kids to like, oh man, I want to keep practicing too, so I can get better, so I can be like mom and dad, right? And if we can get them to have that thought in their brain that makes them want to be like mom and dad, that's huge, right? Because mom and dad are out there learning, struggling, getting better, doing all that stuff with them. And it's super cool to see that.
The next piece here to get into that I think is then, we now look at what it takes to inspire each other, right? To have one of your kids cheer for you as a parent. You can see how that excites a parent, right? To have that shared experience. And you can start to see where legacy is being built with kids and parents. Like they're starting something in their family that's going to be has the potential for multi-generational growth.
It's funny you mentioned that. We have a family. They started, it's probably, the student started quite a while ago, but then we got mom and dad back on the mats. And they were actually, the dad was there at the school that I started training at. He was there on my son's first day of classes. So he was a student way back. Like that's 2009, right? He started as a student. He met his current wife at that school. So he came back to train with us with his son, right? So his son started training with us, and then I got him. So his wife is a black belt already, and he's really close. we got them back on the mats now too. So we actually have, that's what we're talking about, 2 generations of students training with us, because they earned their belts already way back, and they came back and started over, or not necessarily started over, but started training again. So they got their son on the mats as well. So it's been really cool to see that, because they're like, I don't know, what's it, 15 years ago, something like that, maybe even longer. And now they're back on the mats doing that thing. So it's that generation. They're passing on what they learned from martial arts to their son. And then now they're like, okay, we want to get back into it too. So it's really cool.
That's a lot of fun. So you've created something here where you involve everyone. You offer family drills, buddy classes, and dual belt ceremonies.
Yep, everybody tests together.
Yeah. And I think that, this offers, a place for success, for failure, for camaraderie, for team, for community to be built, for people to see this is, hey, if I do fail, this is what happens. I still live. I don't die. I don't have to go crazy. And I have an opportunity. Right. So, Janet Osquera just wrote in on Facebook, kids follow more what parents do than parents say. Right. And that is so
Set the example.
Holy Toledo, is that ever, right? That is such an amazing opportunity to see that, and to be able to deal with that is cool.
Yep. It's so true. I see it all the time. And I get, parents talk to me about, they can talk till they say they talk till they're blue in the face, like my mom used to say, right?
Yep.
But they do something, and the kid goes and does it themselves, and the parents go, "Hey, that's what I did," and they start to realize that the example is way more powerful than the word, right? You could say it 25 times. I want you to do this. I want you to do this. I want you to do this. But when parents go do it themselves and show the kids what they want, the kids go, "Oh, now I get it," right? They're watching us. That's how they're learning. They're watching us
all the time.
all the time.
Yeah. It is definitely funny. That is. Along with that growth, physically, mentally, discipline-wise, one of the great things is in that elevation, home life is naturally going to elevate.
Yep.
The respect that happens really starts to happen when it comes to discipline, or to creating something for the kids when they come and Mr. Yarwood sees or hears that something has been going on. He has a conversation that is very different than a parent having a conversation with their kid. Yes. Kids are just stubborn, and they just want to say no to their parents. I mean, it's just a thing. When Mr. Yarwood, it's not quite as easy as that. So I think that there's a hidden beauty in that when it comes to we don't necessarily have as much time as we'd like to be that disciplining parent, to be able to have somebody to support and work alongside you is really a gift.
Yes, I take that role very seriously, because I know I can have impact on kids, and if I'm able to maybe change a kid's direction just a little bit, that helps the parents out, right? We're a team. I'm not separate from them. I always tell the parents, I say, hey, if you got a problem and you want to call me, text me, whatever, I'm open. If I've had kids, parents call me, and I can hear the kid in the background, and they realize who the parents called, and I don't want to talk to Mr. Yarwood. No, no, no. Right? It's a dip. It's not that they don't have that control. It's just there's certain times where the kid just needs a different voice to set them on a correct path, because they hear the parents all the time, over and over and over and over. And eventually they tune them out. And then Mr. Yarwood steps in and changes their how they listen to things, right? And then I use that, say, hey, if you're not listening to mom and dad, then I guess Taekwondo isn't for you. Maybe you
No.
should, you know what I mean? And they're like, what? Like, hey, if you're not going to do all the things you're supposed to do, then you don't get to do these things that you want to do. That's just how it is. And if mom and dad don't agree with that, then that's how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
So it's like it's working as a team to get the results that we're looking for is so powerful, right? I'm not fighting against what the parents are trying to teach. I'm giving them more tools to be able to do other things to guide their kids, right? The more tools you have in your toolbox, the better that you can do with the things that you want to do.
And when we look at that creates a support system that then, in the S in families, that family focused events really deepen emotional bonds between all members, not just the martial arts ones. All of a sudden now
Yep.
there's this big connection. It's like a spider web.
Yep.
And the strength of that is miraculous. That's the only word that I have for it.
Yep.
Because unless you've seen it, some people don't believe it.
Yep. Yeah, it's fun to see. Like, my son he's kind of like big brother to a lot of the students. And what's great is that there's a group of kids, especially, that he trains, and those parents invite him to different things. Like, they went to the trampoline place where they go and jump and whatnot, and they invited him to come hang out with them, right? Has nothing to do with martial arts. It's just they have that connection, and they appreciate what he does for their kids, and they like having him around. So they invite him to those. We get invited to birthday parties. Kids invite us to their birthday parties. Hey, you know what? I'll get an invite to. Actually, we went to one. I brought the kid a gift. It was a T-shirt, and it was like, he brought me around to all of his, excuse me, all of his friends. This is Mr. Yarwood. He's my karate instructor, right? It's like a 9-year-old kid. And I was like the most popular person there because he's telling everybody about who I am, and he's wearing the T-shirt, and he's all proud of it. And that kind of stuff is so awesome because I see that I'm having an impact outside of the dojo, right?
Yeah.
And it's so cool to be invited to those things, to be part of those things. We have barbecues, picnics, whatever, and it's great to be involved in that and know that I'm doing more than just teaching their kids karate.
The family, the foundation. Starting this game. And so this is episode number 49. When we come back to episode number 50, we're going to talk about your culture shift, training together, highlighting some stories, team language, what that looks like. How do you foster that language in people in general, not just at the studio in martial arts?
Yeah, it's the impact is so much bigger than I really realized when I started hearing stories about what kids are doing at home. We do our fundraiser stuff. We do. I have. It's required that kids do community service as part of training. And the stories I hear of what these kids have come up with to do as their community service events. They're not just doing they're doing obviously all the stuff like, feed my starving children and those kinds of things, but we got kids creating programs at school to help other kids who are struggling, right? Bully prevention stuff. Kids who are maybe disabled, helping them get to and from classes. They're going around the neighborhood picking up trash in their park. I mean, just you name it. They're coming up with all this stuff. And it's so cool because all I did was tell them, you need to do community service, right? And kids are like, hey, I want to do this. Hey, I want to do this. And I'm like, go ahead. That's awesome. There's no parameters to it. It's you go and go help. The goal is to help other people without any expectation of something in return. It's because that's what we do. We're supposed to help people that need our help. And it's so cool to see that and hear that it's having so much impact, right? And it makes me feel awesome that I can be a part of that and be a catalyst to those things. And these kids just take it and run with it. It's so cool to see. And they're so excited to bring that purple sheet back, right?
Yeah.
And they hand it to me, and I read what they did. They're like, "Oh, Mr. Yarwood, look!" Right? It's so awesome. And then their black stripe is the parent stripe, right? So the parents are all excited. They hand me this card, and these kids are getting evaluated. They're getting 4s and 5s of all the stuff they're doing at home, having great discipline, having respect, training at home. Parents are super excited about that too, right? Because it has an impact on their kids. It has an impact on their home life because those kids are doing all that stuff. They're showing respect. They're having integrity, doing all those things at home. Everything they're learning at Taekwondo, right? And to reach that far and to be able to have that impact is amazing. And to me, it's a huge responsibility, and it's something that I take very seriously.
And I think you can see how that plays out in the growth of your studio, in the growth of your listening and the people that in the community that listen to Yarwood Martial Arts. And I have it on good authority that there are people out there, other Taekwondo studios, that are copying what you're doing.
Who are you hearing that from? Or is it a secret?
Well, it's not a secret. I just know that one of the people that works for me, his sister is in Taekwondo over in Coon Rapids, and whoever that is over there is, she shared with me that they have expectations with teachers and family and homework and I know you started that. So it's having an impact such that other leaders are picking up on it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, well, I think we are at the window of opportunity to close for this show and move us into get ready for next week for number 50. And any closing thoughts, Mr. Yarwood?
No, to me, it's about impact. And when you are a parent and you involve yourself directly in your kids' activities, more than just bringing them to practice and bringing them home from practice, when you're actually part of it, it has so much more impact. It's great that you're there. It's great that you're watching. It's great you're involved, but you can do more. And when you're doing that, you're not only going to help your kids, you're going to help yourself, you're going to help your family. So it's super cool to be part of it.
And for a bystander, for somebody watching and listening and learning as well, to see this impact and to see the difference that this can make and the pull that it creates out in the world, it's phenomenal. Check it out.
Yes, sir.
And with that, thank you all. We'll see you next week. And let me figure out how to do this lovely fan